if you could put one message out there, what would you want to say?
Smart girls are horny.
Smart girls are horny. Yes, that is it. I love that.
Welcome back to Glamour with me, Josh Smith, and today we're joined by the geniuses behind Booksmart.
Amy, do you know how many girls are gonna be up your vagina next year? Every time I come to visit you, you're gonna be scissoring a different girl.
Dude, scissoring is not a thing.
Don't knock it until you've tried it. Don't knock it until you've tried it.
Guys, how are you?
So good.
So good. Now, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for making this movie because it's so incredible.
Thank
and
you.
if I had this movie growing up as a gay boy and seeing like queer characters represented in this way, I'd be like, yes, thank you, this is what I need. How much would this film have helped you guys when you were growing up?
So much.
And in what ways?
This movie is not a makeover movie, which
Right.
I
So
love
true.
so much. I feel like there's so many movies that I grew up on where the women in the leading roles felt the need to change something about themselves in order to be accepted by their crush at school or to just be accepted by society, and I feel like that was a really big thing for me.
Yes.
So true.
No assimilation, no desire or need to.
No ponytail down.
These girls know.
Glasses off.
They know exactly who they are.
Yeah.
They know how fun they are and how smart they are.
Yes.
And they have no shame in it.
Every character I related to growing up, like Lisa Simpson or Matilda or Hermione Granger, who are all references for me and Kaitlyn for this movie, they were alone. They weren't with another girl. Like even Hermione, she has two guy friends.
Yeah.
And I feel like to see not one but two of these characters and their lack of competition between them, in fact, like their aggressive obsession with each other, would have been really, really meaningful for me.
Because also what's amazing about what you guys are saying is it's kind of like a movie where you go, I can see you. And I can see what you're doing, and this is really amazing, and I see who you are as the person that you actually are, and not like a stereotype of whoever we're expecting someone to be.
Yes.
Can you remember a time where someone said to you, I can see you, and how that changed you?
Well, you know, it's funny. I referenced it when we were making the film, but I had a very good friend once say to me, in a moment of like crushing insecurity and doubt, she said to me, "Have you met you?" And I thought, that's a really beautiful thing for a friend to say. Like, I want you to see yourself the way I see you. I want you to value yourself. And I felt very seen by her and valued and filled with a sense of confidence and support that I was like, this is why we need our friends. Sometimes we completely lose perspective on who we are and our value, and you can slip very quickly into this place of just like, well, I'm worthless. And there's friends who tell you, like, I will not let you degrade yourself. I will not let you minimize your skills and talents and beauty and all the other things that make you special. Have you met you? Because I will continue to remind you who you are. And I just value that moment still.
Also, because this does deal with categorization, how we do categorize different people. And the fact is, we're living in 2019 and we're still doing this. Because people are still going to come here and be like, these are powerful female roles. And it's kind of like, find me a woman who isn't powerful in her own right. Hello, come on.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yeah,
yes.
good morning, Britain. Is what we're doing here. But like, can you recall a time when someone's trying to categorize you guys as something? And how have you overcome that?
Yes.
As actors, it's constantly happening. Constantly.
Growing up, I was, and I still am, obsessed with musical theater. And when you're like chubby and you're obsessed with musical theater, everyone's like, have you played Tracy Turnblad in Hairspray? And I was like, ugh,
There are other roles.
stop it. Like,
Yeah.
I want to play the baker's wife in Into the Woods. I want to play Dot in Sunny in the Park with George. I was like, I don't want to play Tracy. Like, I'm so much more than just this surface judgment that you're seeing me as. So I remember very early on being like, oh, screw that. I'm so much more than just my body or just the sound of my voice or, you know, whatever it is.
But I think it's such an important thing to do because I think so long we've spent so much time, like, especially with things like slut shaming.
Yes.
And like films like this that direct to that young audiences. That kind of message we're sending out there to be like, you can make the choices you want for you, and having respect for that amongst your community. And I think that's such an amazing message you guys get across in this.
Absolutely, we have two characters literally talking about sex-positive feminism in a film that is just extremely fun and funny, but there's language and messages in there that hopefully are lifting all genders up and all people to allow themselves to be whatever they want to be. This generation doesn't need to be preached to. They're better. They're just better and smarter, and they already know all the things that now older people are starting to embrace. They're shouting from the rooftops. They are at the gates saying, this is our world now. Thanks for messing it up. We'll fix it. Move out of the way.
Yeah.
We don't accept your paradigm. We're shifting it. And this movie is honoring that and saying like, yes, Yes, take it away.
Because it is a bit like with the treatment of a lesbian character, for instance.
Yeah.
Where you're not like, this is a lesbian!
Yeah.
And then like,
It's
there's
not
like
like,
lights behind her being like, this is lesbian,
Yeah.
go ask,
Yeah,
tokenism,
exactly.
yay. It's just being like, it's because it's kind of like within our generation, I would say, it's like the sick thing you would probably mention about someone.
Yes,
It's not
exactly.
like, I
always
welcome,
mention-
here's my lesbian friend.
Yeah,
Right.
we always talk about like Amy's character bio and what that would say. Her sexuality would not be the first or the second or third. It would,
Yeah.
There would be so many other things about her because her sexuality does not define her.
Also, the fact that the only love scene in our film is between two girls. And it encapsulates all that teenage sexuality is. It's like nervous and awkward and
Yes.
consensual and funny and weird and beautiful and sexy and all those things. But telling that story of teen sexuality through a queer
Yeah.
scene is super radical.
Because what would you want to see this film change about discussions around female sexuality? If you could put one message out there, what would you want to say?
Oh, just removing all judgment.
I was gonna say smart
Yeah.
girls are horny.
Smart girl for horny. Yes, that is it. I love that.
But
That's
you
the most
never see
important
these
message.
types of characters that are like getting into Yale and present the senior class and like
Watching
you know,
porn and-
changing like
Yeah.
women in Botswana like talking
about
about
masturbation and
Yeah.
porn in
Yeah.
such a normal way in this movie, the way I do.
Yeah, it was funny. We were shooting the scene where they watch porn. It was so important to me that we not see the porn. It's not about the porn. It's about the fact that these girls are watching it and genuinely turned on, and we're not judging them for it. The shaming has to stop,
Yeah.
and the assumptions about if you're horny, you must be stupid or unserious in some way. All of it has to stop.
At the end of the day, we're all thirsty.
Thank
Let's
you
go, Rhea.
End of the day.
very much.
At the end of the day, thank you so much,
And to
guys.
end-
Honestly.
On that note.
So great to meet
Oh my
you
God, it was
guys.
so nice to meet you.
Congratulations.